Hello Outcasts and other viewers, welcome to another video. This time I'm going to be talking about the potential game modes that we might be seeing in the next Star Wars Battlefront game. But before we get into the video, I'd really appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe to the channel. It would really help us out a lot. Now, we obviously don't know what time setting the next game is going to be set in. It's either going to be the prequels or it's going to be the current trilogy that's being made. But because of that, what I've done is I've sort of structured it like I've split them into two different sections, these game modes, what I think. So I'm going to talk about what will be in each one. So I'm going to talk about which ones I think might be in the prequels, if they make that, and which ones will be in potentially in episode 7 and 8. Now, just so you know, this isn't confirmed, this is just based off of what's in the current Battlefront and how they're going to probably make the next ones, using what we've seen currently and what we know about the development basically. So let's break it down. I'm going to start off with the prequels because that's the first one I've got on the list for me anyway. So the prequels, I reckon they'll have something like Fighter Squadron, like similar to Fighter Squadron that we have now, mainly because there was a lot of space battles in the prequel movies if you remember. So it will obviously be clones versus droids, or the CIS. This is how Hurricane sort of planned the introduction of it being. He planned it as sort of looking like, it shows like a cinematic of these two big carriers sort of meeting, and maybe the cinematic will be you all sort of flying out of the carriers, sort of fighting the opposing ships. It will be just like Fighter Squadron in the current Battlefront. It will just be purely you shooting other ships. That will be the main focus of that mode, and there'll be pickups, probably still Mario Kart style pickups around the map. And that'll be it. That'll be that mode. Basically that. Very simple. Just, you know, clones versus droids in their fighters. Now, there's a variant of this one which Hurricane actually suggested, where it's sort of like it's another Fighter Squadron mode, but there'll be more objectives based on this. Now, what we mean by this is like there'll be like, for example, 2 carriers and 1 battleship on each side, and you'll leave the battleships and the carriers, sorry, and the objective will be to destroy the battleship. And how you might do that is you might maybe board it and destroy the components from the inside, just like Battlefront 2, or maybe, you know, do it from the outside, so like you could in Battlefront 2 as well. You just try and destroy the key components and basically blow up the carrier, or just battleship, sorry, and then that will be how you complete that game mode and how you win basically. That'll be the objective. So Fighter Squadron with more objectives in it, and obviously there'll be the normal Fighter Squadron mode if you just want to blow up other ships like other fighters. There's that mode as well. Now the next one is a heroes versus villain style mode again, just like, you know, with the heroes from the setting. So you'll have things like Count Dooku, Darth Maul, General Grievous, you'll have Mace Windu, Obi-Wan Kenobi, probably Anakin as well, like the good Anakin. Well, I say good, like, you know, teenage emo phase Anakin fighting, and basically loads of other like game modes from the current Battlefront, things like Blast and Droid Run maybe as well, and they'll have Capture the Flag as well. They'll have the basic modes that everyone has that there is in the current Battlefront, excluding Walker Assault, but there might be a variant of that because I'm not quite sure the name of the carrier sort of thing that the clones have that has the big turrets on it. That might be like a variant. They might have something where you have to destroy those, something similar, but probably not because they weren't as massive as the walkers were. And another one is something similar to what you've got in like Battlefield. You've got the conquest mode where you try and hold the flags, and that will build up points, and that's something that I reckon will be fairly likely if they might put in, but they might not. But those are the modes that I feel like there might be in the prequels version of the next Battlefront if they make it. Now I'm going to move on to episode 7 and 8, I guess, for the current trilogy, I suppose, that they're making, if they decide to go on that, which I think it's unlikely they'll do that next, but I'm going to go into it anyway, just so you get, you know, both views on which different games. It doesn't matter, so it doesn't matter which one they make, you've got the potential for both of them in this one video. So you will see some repeats, but there'll be some different ones as well. Now, because we don't know very much about episode 7 and 8 and 9 really, some people that are really into the lore and things probably have more of an idea than I do, but a couple of the more obvious ones would be things like if you're on, you know, one of the ending scenes in The Force Awakens where they're attacking Starkiller Base. There'll probably be a mode like similar to that, like Battle Station on the Death Star DLC, where you've got people on the ground and you'll have people in ships, and they'll probably be going in to try and do like the similar thing to the trench run in episode 4, where they blow up the Death Star. It'll be like that, but you're going into Starkiller Base. There'll be people on the inside that have to blow something up, and maybe what it will do is it might transition like in the Scarif DLC, where it goes from space to ground. It might do something similar, like opposite, like it goes from ground to space, like it has some guys on the ground going in, blowing up the inside of Starkiller Base and creating it so, like a hole, so the fighters in the air can come in and blow up Starkiller Base. There might be something similar to that. I reckon there probably will be something similar to that. That's quite an obvious one that I reckon will be in the new trilogy whenever they decide to make it, whether it's the next game they make or the one after. Another similar mode to the one I just mentioned is like, you know, attacking the base, but I reckon maybe they might do one where it's like a different version where you're attacking the rebel base, where, you know, where Leia is and all the rebels, basically where their main base is. I forgot the name of the planet, but they might do something similar to that, but then again they might not, because it wasn't similar, it wasn't how the story was, so they might do that, but they might not. That's kind of up in the air, but I reckon they will definitely do the Starkiller Base one, because that's too big of a moment in the, you know, the trilogy to ignore. There'll definitely be a map on it anyway, that's for sure. So again, I reckon they'll have modes like in the current Battlefront, not including Walker Assault obviously though, because there aren't any Walkers, there aren't any AT-ATs anymore, because, you know, they all got destroyed, so that won't be in there, but there'll definitely be things like Blast. There'll probably be a Hero Blast, same with the prequels, there might be a Hero Blast as well. I mean, they definitely want to add that in the current Battlefront, so I reckon that will be in the next ones. So there'll be that, there'll be Fighter Squadron probably again as well. There'll be all those different modes that are in the current Battlefront, just not including Walker Assault. And again, Conquest, where they're holding flags, that might be something that they might include too. I reckon they might do that. Like, it's obviously not confirmed, none of this is confirmed, but this is sort of speculation, so keep your speculation hats on throughout this video. Probably a bit late to say that, but there you go. Those are the game modes that I reckon will be in the next Battlefront. I'd love to hear your thoughts and maybe what you guys think will be in the next Battlefront game mode wise. I hope you enjoyed that video. Be sure to give it a like if you did, it really will help us out. Subscribe for more Star Wars Battlefront and comedy gaming and news, and I'll see you very soon.